The reunion invitation arrived unexpectedly on a quiet Friday afternoon. I almost threw it away without opening it. 10 years had passed since graduation, and I doubted anyone remembered me. My 8-year-old son, Ethan, noticed the envelope and smiled. "Maybe you'll see old friends, Dad." His excitement convinced me to attend despite hesitation. Ever since my wife passed away 3 years earlier, life revolved around raising Ethan alone. I worked as a mechanic during the day and repaired neighbors' cars at night. Money remained tight, but our home overflowed with love, honesty, and laughter. Those treasures mattered more than luxury ever could to either of us. The reunion was held inside an elegant hotel ballroom filled with expensive suits, sparkling chandeliers, and loud conversations. Former classmates proudly discussed successful careers, luxury vacations, and impressive houses. I arrived wearing my best navy jacket, holding Ethan's hand proudly. He smiled confidently, unaware of the uncomfortable attention suddenly surrounding us there. A former classmate named Brandon spotted me first. He laughed loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. "Daniel, you brought your kid to a reunion." Others chuckled politely. Brandon continued, "Couldn't afford a babysitter." Ethan squeezed my hand tightly, sensing the embarrassment, despite trying bravely to ignore their mocking expressions around us. I smiled calmly instead of arguing. "My son enjoys meeting new people," I answered politely. Brandon shrugged dismissively before returning to conversations about expensive sports cars and overseas investments. Several classmates followed him, leaving Ethan and me standing quietly near the refreshment table while soft music echoed through the elegant ballroom all evening. Ethan whispered, "Dad, maybe we should leave." I knelt beside him and smiled gently. "Never leave because someone else forgets how to be kind," I replied softly. "Your value isn't decided by strangers." He nodded bravely, straightened his shoulders, and proudly remained beside me despite feeling nervous inside throughout the uncomfortable gathering together. As dinner began, classmates shared stories of promotions and business achievements. When my turn arrived, someone jokingly asked whether fixing flat tires counted as corporate leadership. Laughter spread across several tables. I simply smiled. "Helping honest people safely return home every day is enough success for me," I answered, without resentment or anger. An elderly waiter quietly approached our table moments later. He accidentally dropped a tray after slipping slightly on the polished floor. Before anyone else reacted, Ethan and I rushed forward, helping him gather broken dishes while ensuring he wasn't injured. Most guests merely watched before continuing their conversations as though nothing had happened around them. The grateful waiter thanked Ethan warmly. "Young man, your father raised you well," he said sincerely. Ethan beamed proudly. I noticed several classmates looking away awkwardly, perhaps realizing kindness had made a stronger impression than expensive watches or designer clothing ever could during that memorable evening inside the crowded ballroom filled with conversation. Suddenly, the ballroom entrance grew unusually quiet. Conversations stopped as guests turned toward a distinguished elderly billionaire entering with several executives. Everyone recognized William Carter, founder of one of the nation's largest engineering companies. His unexpected appearance surprised the entire reunion because nobody had expected someone of his reputation to attend the gathering. Instead of greeting organizers first, William slowly scanned the room before walking directly toward me. Hundreds of eyes followed him in complete silence. Brandon looked confused, assuming the billionaire intended to greet someone important standing nearby. Instead, William stopped directly before Ethan and me, smiling warmly with unmistakable recognition in his grateful eyes. Without hesitation, William extended both hands toward me. "Daniel," he said warmly, "I've searched for you for nearly 2 years." The room fell completely silent. I recognized him immediately. 2 years earlier, I had pulled an unconscious man from a burning vehicle after a highway accident before emergency crews had even arrived there. William smiled gratefully before addressing everyone nearby. "Most people know me as a billionaire," he began, "but this man knows me as someone whose life needed saving." Gasps echoed across the ballroom. Brandon stared speechless while classmates exchanged shocked glances, realizing the humble mechanic they mocked had quietly performed extraordinary courage without seeking recognition afterward. William continued speaking. "Daniel refused every reward I offered. He accepted only enough money to replace his damaged tools because he wanted to return to work supporting his son." The billionaire gently placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "Your father reminded me that true wealth isn't measured by bank accounts, but by character." He then reached into his jacket and presented a sealed envelope. Inside was an official document establishing a scholarship fund in Ethan's name, guaranteeing every educational expense through university. Tears filled my eyes immediately. Ethan looked between us in disbelief, struggling to understand how one forgotten act of kindness had changed his future forever. William wasn't finished. He announced publicly that his company had also chosen my repair shop as the official maintenance provider for its regional vehicle fleet. The long-term contract would transform my small business, allowing me to hire employees, expand services, and provide stable opportunities for hard-working families throughout our community for many years ahead. Brandon slowly approached after the applause faded. His confident smile had disappeared completely. Looking genuinely ashamed, he apologized for mocking me and my son earlier. I accepted his apology without hesitation. Holding bitterness would only teach Ethan the wrong lesson. Forgiveness, I believed, always carried greater strength than revenge or humiliation ever could. As we prepared to leave, Ethan slipped his small hand into mine. "Dad," he whispered proudly, "the richest person here wasn't the billionaire." I smiled through grateful tears. "You're right," I answered softly. "Real riches come from kindness, courage, and keeping your heart humble even when nobody is watching. That lesson became our greatest inheritance forever,